So, all over the internet and YouTube as a whole, not from creators, but from critics, there is a lot of speculation and conjecture that YouTubers are lazy and they can't be bothered getting a job of their own, sort of thing. And I really hate that specific conjectured thought process, because without actually being within the industry and doing it yourself, you're really in no sort of position to take up commentary on what it is. Now, I'll see a lot of people, and I suppose PewDiePie is the one that cops the most flack, being the biggest YouTuber, but I can categorically tell you that he would probably put in a lot more work than what people do during their normal day jobs. YouTubers being called lazy and it not being a real job is something that really frustrates me, and it grinds my gears. Do you know what really grinds my gears? That.
Impossible.
I personally, as a YouTuber, put a lot of time into my videos, put a lot of the spare time that I have. Now, keeping in mind that I actually work a full-time job and I work a secondary job that I work pretty much every single night. So on a sort of daily basis, I work typically about 10 to 12 hours a day before I even get home. And then I come home and I record and I edit and I upload. That amount of time, typically for a YouTuber, especially a big YouTuber that does it full time, is nowhere near the amount of time. I mean, you can see through the quality of the videos, the amount of editing that actually takes place within the videos themselves, there's not a lot. And yet that'll still take me about an hour to go through, pick apart all the parts, and then go through and render. And rendering itself on my computer takes anywhere between 2 and 4 hours, depending on how much editing of a video has taken place. I'm going to use PewDiePie as an example, because if you've ever actually watched his videos, the amount of editing and overlays and sound overs and music cut-ins and so on and so forth that goes into making his videos is just enormous. Take into account the amount of time spent that he actually creates the videos and gets all the footage. If you think he does all of what he does in one take, you would be sorely mistaken. He would go through and say various things at various parts in different ways, and then pull out the best sort of parts and put that into a video. He's been doing this long enough to sort of understand not to take one take anymore. Worked when he started out, just doing everything one cut, uncut, and purely just on the go, because that was the kind of YouTuber he was. He was very just on the fly, try and make something funny, so on and so forth. But if you look at what he was compared to what he is now, he's a completely different YouTuber. He takes on a completely different character, he takes on a completely different role, and he actually cuts and edits and thinks about his videos a lot more than what he used to. Which is what has actually made him so successful. He's learned through the process. Go back and watch his first couple of videos compared to what he's doing now, and you would think that he is not the same YouTuber he once was. And you would be right, he's not. He's grown, he's evolved. And a lot of people complain about that. But that's not what the issue is that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about PewDiePie. I'm talking about PewDiePie, Keemstar, just any of the bigger sort of YouTubers around that actually put a lot of effort in. I would say on a basis that they would probably do a day about 6 hours worth of recording. Then they've got to go through all of that 6 hours worth of footage and cut it and edit it how they want it. And then they've got to go find pictures and other clips and music and sources and be able to then cut in and everything that they want to do within that video. That in itself would take, I reckon, about another 2 to 3 hours to go through and do that. And then you've got to wait on rendering times, making sure you go through the whole video again and making sure that you're happy with it. You got to make a thumbnail, which can take anywhere up to half an hour to an hour, depending on the kind of thumbnail that you're wanting. And then you've got to put in the description and tags and so on and so forth. That is more necessary for lesser known YouTubers like myself rather than the bigger guys. You've got to tag correctly, you've got to write proper descriptions and get your SEO correct and make sure you're trying to do everything you can to get noticed. Fortunately, a guy like PewDiePie, and I do keep going back to him as an example because he is the face of YouTube, he doesn't need to do stuff like that because he's already there. And he's still growing at a phenomenal rate because he is so famous. He doesn't need to put in the effort in terms of writing in the amount of information within the video that, say, I would do to be able to get noticed, because he's just going to get noticed. But still, the amount of time that, say, on his level he does is probably more, and he would work more hours of the day than you do as a viewer. As a person who goes to work every day, does their job and goes home, you would work an 8-hour day. I would speculate a bigger YouTuber who spends full time on this making quality videos would actually spend up to 12 hours a day every single day doing their job. And then the complaint is that people can earn quite a bit of money doing this. Well, I would argue that these YouTubers, especially the bigger known YouTubers, put in a lot more work than what, say, an actor does, and does effectively the same role in regards to what they produce within their video, but then they are the movie team as well. So they're the director, the producer, the editor, the sound guy or girl, so on and so forth. They do every single role within that video, and you complain that they get paid too much. They get recognized too much. These guys are celebrities, don't get me wrong. They are celebrities. They work a lot harder than what, say, a Brad Pitt does. Hell, some of them are probably actually better actors and entertainers than a lot of the big paid stars. So you want to complain about what it takes to be a YouTuber, about the money they earn, and that they can be sort of lazy? I put it to you, 1 week, put yourself into their shoes and do what they do on the level that they do it, with the creativity and the effort and quality that they produce, or I produce. Hell, do what I do on a spare week. Don't take into account that I work full time and I put in a lot of those hours and everything into other stuff. Spend my 4 hours a day making videos, and then come back to me and tell me that it is still easy. So before becoming a critic, actually do what they do for a week, and then come back and tell me that it's too hard and they do too much and they get paid too much. That's all I'm saying. I'm Clief101. Thank you very much for watching this rant. If you do like the video, please give it a thumbs up and share it around. It means a lot to me. Let's see what we can do. Bye.
Wow.